Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your libertarian car guy, and I'm hustling down the mountain here in a 2019 Dodge Ram 1500 Laramie, loaded to the gills in a $63,000 sticker. What's interesting about this big old hoss, which descends very distantly from the work trucks that we all grew up with, or at least that I grew up with, is that you've got basically a gigantic four-wheel drive luxury yacht. Underneath all of this wonderful, fancy, high-end electronic stuff, there is still a lot of capability. This thing will pull a considerable load, but something else that it will do, actually, as you can see, is it will corner pretty well. I'm hustling through these curves at a pretty good clip. I won't say exactly how fast, but I'm going at a pretty good clip. And the truck is handling them pretty well. Part of the reason is that it rides on 20-inch low-profile tires, which give it a startlingly high grip threshold, and the suspension's pretty good too. Again, considering that this is a truck, a big truck, and it weighs a lot, and all that weight is getting thrown around a lot in these corners as I go. But with the judicious application of my right foot on the throttle, some steering inputs, the thing will corner amazingly well. In fact, I think it would be freaking hilarious to do a side-by-side autocross test between something like this truck and a mid-70s Corvette, let's say. I bet you that, assuming a good driver, this thing could at least keep up with the Corvette, and it might actually be able to out-handle the Corvette. And that's no exaggeration. I think I'd put some money down on that just to show you that. Anyway, that's the upside. The downside, of course, is holy mackerel, $63,000 for a pickup truck, ultimately. Now, yeah, very nice pickup truck, but $63,000, but they sell them. And Lord knows these things are keeping the car industry afloat because the margins on these things are so high. It's a relatively simple vehicle in terms of its basic architecture. So you take that, you add a bunch of nice electronics to it, features and amenities, heated seats, steering wheel, yada, yada, yada. The thing's also got a really high-end Harman Kardon audio system. You probably can't tell from my camera here, but it's got a panorama sunroof too. It's got just about everything conceivable and imaginable. So you do all those things and you end up with a vehicle that is at least as nice, if not nicer, than a lot of luxury sedans, and a lot more practical, because most luxury sedans aren't going to be able to pull 10 or 11,000 pounds of trailer as this thing can, or deal with snow, which this thing can, or go off-road, which this thing can. Now, I hasten to add, in my best Dr. Strangelove voice, that there is one downside. I have to dig into this some more, but my understanding is that the 2019 Ram, which is all new, which is completely updated, is only being sold in the four-door configuration, the crew cab and the quad cab. And if you want the regular cab, you're out of luck unless you want to buy a new old truck. They're still selling the last generation Ram truck as the classic. So it's still available, but it's not new and it hasn't got all the updates, which I guess has its upsides and its downsides. Frankly, for me, as much as I like all this stuff to drive it and write about it, if I'm going to buy it, and again, this is just me, your mileage may vary, but if I were going to buy a truck, for me, the main criteria are practicality, utility, and price. And for my purposes, I'm a single guy. I don't have a bunch of kids to haul around. I'd want the regular cab, and I'd want it with the V8 and the long bed. The 19, you can get the V8, of course, but you can't get the regular cab, and I don't think you can get a long bed because of the fact that it would be too long with the long bed and the crew cab or the quad cab. So I think you can only get the short bed or the medium length bed in this configuration, which does limit what you can carry. Not what you can pull, but what you can carry. I own an old Nissan, not that old, 2002 Nissan Frontier. And that's the compact size truck, but it has the longer bed on it, and I think I could probably carry just about as much in the bed of my little Nissan pickup truck as I could carry in the bed of this truck. Can't pull as much, of course. My little truck can't hardly pull very much at all, little 4-cylinder truck. But I could go down to Lowe's and probably carry home as many 2x4s or even more sheetrock than this thing can, at least not without the sheetrock hanging off of the edge of the tailgate too much. So I'll have more up at epautos.com shortly. I just posted an article about what I style the TurboTax that some of you might find of interest. So that's the lead article. Go check that out. And I should have an in-depth written review about this Ram, hopefully by the weekend, maybe before, depending on how everything goes. So thanks for viewing, and we'll catch up with you again soon.